Hi, this is Nathan from BetterBibleTeachers.com. Today, I want to share very quickly 3 ideas that you can use when you talk about Jesus' triumphal entry into Jerusalem that'll take your story from too exciting. All right, real quick. The first idea is that I don't want you to start your story with one day Jesus went and he told his disciples to go get a donkey tied up in a city and to bring it back to him. That's part of the story. But instead of starting with that, start with Jesus raising Lazarus from the dead. Because that is why the crowds were so excited. That was one of the main reasons they followed Jesus on his way into Jerusalem and started to chant his name and sing and put down palm branches. They had seen Lazarus rise from the dead, and they saw Lazarus now, and that created huge energy around this whole time frame. Like, it literally says the people that were saying Hosanna, blessed is the king, those were the people who knew Lazarus, had seen Lazarus, and had seen Jesus raise him from the dead. So that gives whole new meaning to this idea of the triumphal entry. Number 2 is when you think about triumphal entry, you may think of this story, right? Well, triumphal entry has a very Roman idea to it. Triumphal entries in Rome were filled with gold chariots and beautiful horses and music and a big parade and lots of important people. So when Jesus comes into the city riding a donkey and people waving sticks and putting down old coats for him, that's a very different kind of triumphal entry, and to a lot of people, it wouldn't have looked that triumphant. And that leads me to my third point. It creates a real contrast for the story that, yes, Jesus is the king, but he's a very different kind of king. Jesus didn't come the first time to conquer Rome or to conquer Jerusalem, because after all, he could have called down angels, and in 2 seconds, it all would have been over. But when Jesus came into Jerusalem that day, his purpose was to eventually give his life, and not to conquer Jerusalem or to take over Jerusalem, but to take over our hearts by submitting himself and dying on the cross. He then was able to rescue us. So this is a story of a king who's very different. It's a humble king, and it's a king who's coming for his people, as opposed to a Roman king who's coming for military victory and gold and horses and popularity. This is the King of Kings. This is the King that's coming for us. So I hope that helps. For more, check out betterbibleteachers.com. And this is Nathan, and I'll see you again next time.